Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the markets. Right now, markets aren't looking too great, and I'm talking about crypto and equities stocks. And it's mainly due to the news that we received yesterday from the Fed Chair Powell. He mentioned yesterday that another rate hike is not off the table. The markets were expecting no more rate hikes, and because of that, the markets reacted the way they did. Even Bitcoin and crypto was impacted. Not big, not greatly, but still impacted. But I want to talk about in this video why I'm still so bullish on Bitcoin and why I think you should be bullish as well. So let's get into it. If you like the content in this video, please hit that like button. It's definitely going to help the channel grow. And if you want to see more of my content, subscribe to the channel. So let's get into this market. Let's see what's happening. And I'm going to give you my take on things. All right. So if we look at, yesterday he had the meeting, answered some questions. And basically, like I just said in the intro, that they are foreseeing or better yet, they're not ruling out another quarter point hike. Markets weren't expecting that, and because of that, that's why we're here. That's why the markets are looking the way they do. Additionally, markets were expecting that, no more hikes this year, and the next year they'll start cutting. Start cutting, definitely good for the market, definitely good for the economy. And he said, well, not so fast. Possibly the hikes or the cuts won't happen as quickly and as drastically as you may think. He's thinking about maybe 2 quarter point cuts, and the markets were expecting something much higher. So because of that, things are down, and for good reason, right? These interest rates, as high as they are killing the economy and hurting everyday working people like you and myself. It's not just the US. Over there in the UK, all over the world, we're having inflation issues, and they're trying to combat it with interest rates. Okay, according to Jerome Powell, that's the only tool he has in order to try to cool inflation. So again, if we look at the markets right now, if we look at this heat map, it's a sea of red, but looks can be deceiving. It's only, so you look at Bitcoin there, not even 2% decrease from where it was. If we look at ETH did come down. We're no longer in the 1600 range. We're in the 1500s. Good buying opportunity for both. And overall, that's what we're doing. But it's a sea of red, but again, not drastic cuts. Still a good deal, again, to invest in your favorite cryptos, favorite projects. But this video is about Bitcoin and why I think everyone should be trying to stack Bitcoin right now. I love my alts like the next person, but I think at this stage before the halving, this should be when you should be trying to stack up on Bitcoin, because I believe in the future it's going to be a race as to who can accumulate the most Bitcoin. Right now, everyone is sleeping. You guys are awake. You're watching this channel and other channels like it. Probably a good time to be DCAing into Bitcoin and ETH. But I think Bitcoin is probably the safest right now. If we look at equities as well, if we look at these futures here, you see that the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, Rust 2K, they're all in the red, right? So basically, if we look at this article here, not only about the rate hikes and then, less cuts next year, but also we have the government shutdown here looming in the U.S. People here, as far as the leaders, they're still trying to get their act together, and this could be an issue. Normally at the 12th hour, they get things together and they get it done, but markets always react negatively when we have these shutdowns coming up. And again, it's just the economy, and this is why another reason why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin is, just the debt. The debt's out of control, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So we look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin slides to 26. We looked at that in the heat map. After the surging US dollar, record high rates are a nightmare for crypto firms. So the 10-year treasury rate surging to a 16-year high, and equity markets are selling off, could push BTC lower, according to one trade firm. So basically, Fed's higher for longer stance puts pressure on crypto firms, and equity sell-off could drag BTC price lower. And again, this is just a chart just showing how these headwinds are kind of impacting the price. And again, this should not be a time for you to be, concerned or upset or, scared out the market. No, this is the time you should be accumulating. It's going to be a good price. Just keep DCAing. The big boys, the big institutions, they want to scare you out the market, and they're going to be accumulating. Believe me. So you always want to do what smart money does and not what dumb money does. So hold on. If you believe in Bitcoin, you believe in the conviction, you know where this thing is going to go, how it's such a just hard asset and it's only going to appreciate with time. You want to still DCA. And another reason why you want to DCA into Bitcoin, look at the debt. It's crazy. 33 trillion, not 33 billion, 33 trillion. And we see the government shut down because they can't balance the budget. So, what they're going to do is probably at the last minute get something together and then kick it down the road, and we'll be here in another 2 years doing the same thing. It's like you having a credit card, your limit is 10,000 and you can't pay it off. And what you do, you go and ask for more money, and then the credit card company just increase it another 10. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. That's not financial responsibility, right? You're never going to learn, and your debt is just going to increase and increase. And when that happens, chances are they got to print more money, the value of the dollar goes down. So you have an asset that is depreciating over time versus Bitcoin that I believe will appreciate over time. So you put $100 in the bank today, and then 10 years from now, is that $100, will it still buy $100 worth of goods? No, that's not the case. Bitcoin, sky's the limit, because it's a hard asset, and it just, they're cutting it, right? As far as the production of Bitcoin, it's not going to be as much, and it's a controlled, you can't modify it, you can't add more, you can't print more out of thin air. It's just a hard asset, and I think it's just one of the greatest investments in our time. It's a good time right now to get into it. But this trillion debt is no good. 33 trillion, and the number is probably only going to go higher. And interest rates up, and Fed is saying that he's not cutting as much or aggressively next year. He may even increase it more. Credit cards are killing people. Everyday Americans, every day, no matter where you're at. Because number one, wages aren't keeping up with the inflation. You go out to eat, everything's more expensive. Anything you do in life right now is just more expensive than it was 3 years ago. And the wages aren't keeping up with the inflation. And so in order to make ends meet, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. You put things on your credit card, and unfortunately, some people can only make the minimum payment a little bit over that. But with these interest rates as high they are, 25, 30%, all you're doing is paying the interest. That balance is still going up. So every couple of weeks you get paid, you're putting stuff on that credit card, you're just getting more and more into debt and digging yourself, just a bigger hole. It's a dire situation. And I think, a sound investment like Bitcoin and other good crypto projects can help you with that. If we come out this on top in the next bull cycle, if history repeats itself, you could pay down a lot of that debt. But look at this. Credit card debt sets a new record. $1 trillion. The highest it's been since, if we look at this chart here per CNN Business, since 2013. $1.3 trillion. Sad state of affair, people. But interest rates stay untouched. FOMC wraps with S&P dropping, S&P 500 dropping, but crypto relatively staying high. So if you look at this chart per sentiment, you look at the S&P where it fell, right? It's lowest point since August 25th. And then look at Bitcoin, the past 8 days. Bitcoin's been trading probably 25 to 28, 29, but it hasn't gone down that much. And we got good things coming up with these spot ETFs, good things coming. So have the faith with Bitcoin, but if you look at it compared to equities, still crypto and Bitcoin is really relatively strong. So that's good. And then another chart by another rational root. The suppliers, the long-term holders are not giving up, holding their bags, not selling to the big boys, holding it. About 75.8% long-term holder supply, not moving. They don't care what's happening with the economy. They have strong conviction like me, believe in Bitcoin, 75.8%. So if you ever doubted, should I sell my Bitcoin? Should I buy Bitcoin? Look at the chart like this. When in doubt, you always want to zoom out, but just look at that. Long-term holders aren't going anywhere. They know what they have and they're going to hold it, and sky will be the limit come, 5, 10 years from now. Shoot, 2025, sky's the limit. Now, if we look at TradingView versus USD, I just wanted to show overview. When in doubt, you always will zoom out. Look at Bitcoin in 2012 versus now. And at the bottom is what I really want to showcase. Look at it. Within 5 years, 293 increase all time. What asset do you know will give you these type of returns? All time. So if you were early adopter, early purchaser of Bitcoin in 2012 versus now, those are your returns right there. Enough said, right? Enough said. So imagine another 2, 5, 8 years from now. What would that number be? Just think about that. Now, let's take a look at some updates, other stuff besides Bitcoin and what's going on in the world of crypto today. You have Alchemy Pay. Basically, it's a crypto payment gateway has obtained a money translator license. I don't know if you guys are into Alchemy Pay, but that's news. Binance warns about large-scale stablecoins delisting amid new EU regulations. Binance is going through some issues, man. They got a target on their back. And Binance US, basically, as far as fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, that's been done. I know the CEO stepped down. So Binance US is probably not going to be around for much longer. But then you have Binance in different areas of the world. I'm hearing, in Canada, I'm not even sure if they're still in Canada. Then now you have EU delisting stable coins. It's just been a slow and steady drip that they're going after Binance. And I had a feeling that after CZ and SBF had their issue, and basically a lot of people say that CZ probably spearheaded the FTX downfall, that, there's been a target on his back, because we know that, SBF unfortunately had some interlopes with the government here. And that probably, that's probably what's leading this downfall of Binance. But we'll see how that all plays out. But if you have stuff on Binance, I'm not telling you what to do. But if it were me, I took everything off of Binance that I ever had. So just a word. Layer 0 has added ZRU token withdrawal feature to its node. Tether obtains 20% stake in German miner Northern by, let's see, 420 million GPU purchase. Tether's been, I know there's been a lot of talk about Tether and it's not a strong stable coin, but they're doing all right. I mean, they're holding Bitcoin, and so far, no matter what type of flood is thrown its way, whatever audits are done, they're still around. PayPal brings PayUSD, their stable coin, to Venmo, Bybit, and KuCoin exchanges. Not a big fan of that. I mean, if you have USDC right now, that's what I'm rolling with. But for those PayPal fans, there's some news for you. At least there's some growing adoption there. Bioeconomy evolves from wallet layer to platform with its new modular architecture. Mt. Gox. Oh, crypto exchange has delayed the deadline for repaying people by a year. Ain't that something? I hope that doesn't impact, bull, 2025. Hope it doesn't. But Mt. Gox, for the longest time, they're supposed to pay all their victims back, and it just seems like longer and longer. They're delaying it. So my people out there impacted by Mt. Gox, be patient. DYDX has announced that the chain will integrate with Squid and Exler. Injective. I like Injective. Injective launches their pre-registration for ING domains powered by Space ID. So if you're in Injective, you're going to, have your own address. You can have your name, say what ING. Not too bad. Has a nice ring to it. And then Chainlink, channel favorite. Chainlink CCIP protocol has launched on Ethereum's Layer 2 Arbitrum 1. I think Chainlink is very good. It's a good project. A lot of utility. I think it has probably one of the best utilities in the space, period. But it's not sexy. No one really wants to talk about it. It's not an L1, all of that. But you need Chainlink. A lot of these projects rely on it to function, to pull real-world data and to, help with staking and liquid financing and all of that. Chainlink is very important. Then you have FujiDAO has announced the stoppage of its borrowing aggregator operations. So that's the news for today. But I want to leave you guys with some words of a famous investor, U.S. investor, Warren Buffett. Although he hates crypto and he claims he hates crypto, he had some wise things to say about investing in general. Whatever he has to say about crypto, you can't knock the guy. He's been a successful investor over the years, and a lot of people try to follow his methods and basically follow in his footsteps. And he says, price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market shuts down for 10 years. That's how I feel about Bitcoin. We simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. Right now, we're in a sideways market. Things are red. Perfect time. Good deals. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. If you're following this channel and other channels like it, you've been reading, doing your own research on your projects, you already know, right? We do not have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest. DCA, HODL, that's it, right? Cash combined with courage in a time of crisis is priceless, and I couldn't have said it better myself. And then lastly, I know this is a little bit long video here. Will Clemente, we all know him in the crypto space, but he has something to say about Bitcoin. And I'm not reading this whole thing that he tweeted, but if you want, is it tweeted or zeeted? That he zeeted. You could take a look at it. It's a very, very good article. He says, as a large portion of Americans, and you could put any country in there, continue to feel more left behind and dissatisfied, they will seek to rebel against the current system or seek alternative, which is a dynamic that macro historians, commentators such as Ray Dalio have discussed at great length. I believe these dynamics will create a preconditioning for a willingness to adopt an alternative monetary system. And with the existence of escape valve via Bitcoin today, my money is on the first successful iteration of digital scarcity becoming adopted by society. Not to mention a similar dynamic takes place on the nation state level, with the US itself benefiting from the dollar system and others not. Meanwhile, combined with the structural trends of debt, demographics, and the obvious trend of the world becoming increasingly digital, the setup for Bitcoin is becoming increasingly favorable. The world is turning digital, guys. I don't know the last time I had cash and held it in my hand. Everything is digital, and everything I believe is going to be on blockchain. Things are going to be tokenized. We are innovators. We are at the forefront of everything. Please don't be scared out now. This is only temporary. Know that you have a scarce asset. Know that Bitcoin, ETH, and your other favorite projects are going to set you free from this rat race. No more living paycheck to paycheck. No more going to a job that you're not happy with, smiling in front of people that you really don't like. No more of that. Financial freedom for you to do what you want to do with your family, and the time is yours. It's your time. You schedule your day, you do what you want, spend more time with family, and just grow individually. That's all I got today. Long rant, but I just wanted to make a video to say, okay, the market's not looking great. Things aren't like how we expected it to be, but now is the time that we should be focused, DCAing, and just holding tight. You know, things will definitely turn around, and you'll be thankful that you were patient and disciplined. Until next time, guys, talk to you later. Bye.